Good morning. My name is Rich Keener. I'm the village manager for the Village of Villa Park. And today is another segment where we'll be discussing the agendas for the Committee of the Whole and the formal board meeting for Monday, January 11th. So let's start. So as usual, the Committee of the Whole commences at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, January 11th, and then immediately following the Committee of the Whole starts the formal board meeting. So let's begin. So for the Committee of the Whole for Monday, January 11th, it goes like this. So number 1 is the call to order, the roll call. Number 2 is Pledge of Allegiance. Number 3 is amendments of the agenda. And folks, that's the appropriate time for the President of Board of Trustees to make changes to the agenda. It could be adding something, deleting something, questioning the verbiage of something. And from there, we'll go on to number 4, which is a presentation of the Chaddock Institute Municipal Development Award. So the Chaddock Institute Municipal Development Award recognizes innovation and leadership by municipalities in managing the development process to build stronger and more livable communities. In 2015, the award focused on planning, designing, and utilizing trails to provide economic, community, and cultural benefits. Villa Park was recognized for implementation and the village's role in programming the Prairie Path for events all year. The programming engaged businesses and community groups and spurred the revitalization of buildings and public spaces around the Prairie Path. So folks, number 4 concerns the village receiving an award from the Chaddock Institute. So it's kind of an exciting time for us, and the award relates to the Illinois Prairie Path. And as I've mentioned on several occasions during these segments, our counts of folks riding bikes or walking or skating or running and doing many things on the Illinois Prairie Path, but the counts, our recent count was 186,000 visitors to the Illinois Prairie Path in just our segment alone, which was second in DuPage County. So we have been doing a lot of things with our segment of the Illinois Prairie Path. In fact, we've taken care of some of the potholes by having gravel. We're going to implement a monarch butterfly sanctuary near Ovaltine, near Park Boulevard in the spring. We've already planted some wildflower seeds, so it's going to be kind of neat. We've trimmed back a lot of trees, a lot of brush. We've done extra signage. So we've done a lot of positive things on the Illinois State Prairie Path, and we've taken a look at economic development around the path too, and we're trying to lure additional businesses to South Villa and Ardmore and the other areas also. So please tune in on Monday night or come to the board meeting and listen to the award. It should be very, very interesting. So number 5 on the Committee of the Whole for Monday night is Project Eliminate Summary presentation by the Villa Park Kiwanis Club. And folks, that's the neonatal tetanus elimination project, which is sponsored by the Kiwanis Club, and that's an international project. Number 6 is discussion only, and it's Bring Your Own Bottle, BYOB. The village has received a request concerning Bring Your Own Bottle, and staff is seeking direction from the village board concerning this topic. The Villa Park Code does not address the practice of individuals bringing alcoholic beverages into non-liquor licensed establishments for consumption, nor does it address the issue of any commercial establishment providing free alcoholic beverages without a liquor license. So as I read that, it's kind of open-ended if you really think about the synopsis I just read. So staff is really looking for some direction from the village board. So please tune in. That should be a very interesting discussion. When you really think about it, if you go to dinner and the establishment does not serve alcohol, in some cases you can bring in alcohol and have with your dinner, but when you leave you take the alcohol that you haven't drank and then you put that back in your car. Then there's certain issues, and so really staff needs some direction about BYOB, which is bring your own bottle. So that is number 6. So let's move on to number 7, which is discussion only also. So direction on a vacation of a portion of Harrison Street right-of-way. The village has received a request on vacation of a portion of Harrison Street right-of-way. Given the expense of applying for a vacation under current village policy, staff is seeking direction from the board as to whether they would be willing to vacate the entire width to the property owner located at 1200 South Oakland prior to having him collect and submit all documentation required in the vacation application. So folks, we have a property owner interested in assuming control of some village property. And this village property we really don't use. We would still request an easement for you, the possibility of utility extension. But this, the 1200 South Oakland, the property owner would like to take over control of the right-of-way. And it's kind of expensive because that property owner would have to do a survey and do some other legal work, and it would require some attorneys and a survey and etc. So before we proceed to do that, we'd like to know if the board is interested in doing that for the property owner before he expends those funds. So that's number 7. So number 8 is to consider an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the number of Class I liquor licenses from 11 to 8. The Village of Villa Park Code authorizes 11 Class I liquor licenses. 3 businesses have not reviewed their Class I liquor licenses for 2016. These businesses include La Tosca Restaurant, Park West Restaurant, as Mezbon Chicago. Staff recommends Village Board approval of the attached ordinance that reduces the Class I liquor licenses by 3 from 11 to 8. So obviously these 3 businesses for the calendar year 2016 are not interested in serving alcohol, so they are relinquishing their liquor licenses, and then staff is proceeding and proposing to reduce the number for the Village of Villa Park from 11 to 8 for Class I. So number 9 on the Committee of the Whole for Monday night is to consider a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing change order number 1, which is a final change order, to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and Denler, Inc. for the 2015 crack sealing program for an adjusted final contract amount of $129,838.08. The village has a contract with Denler, Inc. of Monoka, Illinois for the 2015 crack sealing program. Proposed final change order number 1 consists of additional quantity of crack sealing which was completed on Ardmore Avenue. The net amount of proposed final change order number 1 is an addition of $19,414.08 for an adjusted final contract amount of $129,838.08. And folks, with this, Denler happened to have some extra quantities of crack sealing product, and we wanted them to finish crack sealing Ardmore rather than leaving a portion not completed for 2015. So Denler went to another community, had some extra crack sealant, came back, used that extra crack sealant in Ardmore, and so we finished Ardmore and we used all their crack sealing, so it was a great use of their time and materials, and we finished the whole street. So Ardmore was finished in 2015, and in 2016 we'll move on with another group of streets to crack fill. So number 10 for the Committee of the Whole for Monday night is to consider a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing change order number 1. This change order is also a final change order to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and G&M Cement Construction, Inc. for the 2015 Concrete Street Improvement Program for an adjusted final contract amount of $1,122,301.08. The village has a contract with G&M Cement Construction, Inc. of Addison, Illinois for the 2015 Concrete Street Improvement Program. Proposed final change order number 1 consists of the final balancing of contract quantities as measured in the field. The net amount of proposed final change order number 1 is a deduction of $96,057.07 for an adjusted final contract amount of $1,122,301.08. So folks, we're balancing the quantities as measured in the field for our concrete street improvement program. So obviously, we didn't need as much as the projected amount from the company. So we're actually saving a little over $96,000. And what we'll do is we'll take that $96,000 and put it into a project in 2016. So very nice. So we saved some money, still got our concrete work done in 2015, and we'll use those savings in 2016. So moving on to number 11 for the Committee of the Whole for Monday night is to consider a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an intergovernmental agreement for the Washington Street Corridor Green Infrastructure Project between the Village of Villa Park and the County of DuPage. The village, in cooperation with DuPage County, wishes to proceed with the design of green infrastructure improvements along Washington Street and on Grant Avenue. DuPage County will fund up to $40,000 for design engineering. Villa Park would be responsible for any cost in excess of the initial $40,000. An intergovernmental agreement with DuPage County is needed to receive the funding and has already been approved by DuPage County Board. So folks, this is a great program, and we've talked about this green infrastructure project before on Washington and Grant. And so we're moving forward. So DuPage County is giving us a $40,000 grant. We'll sign the IGA hopefully Monday evening, Tuesday morning, and proceed with the green infrastructure program project. So great use of the money, a great project, and looking forward to it. So number 12 on the Committee of the Whole for Monday night, January 11th, is the convene to the formal agenda. So really, folks, the agenda for Monday night is not bad. So now, just as I mentioned before, so the Committee of the Whole starts at 7:30. Now we're proceeding to the formal agenda. And the first item on the agenda is the Village President's Report. And folks, that's the appropriate time for President Bullwinkle to kind of give us a synopsis of what's been transpiring in the role of the village president since the last time we met. Could be emails, could be phone calls, could be questions for staff. So number 2 on the agenda is public comments on agenda items. So that's the appropriate time for folks in the audience to come to the podium once they're recognized by President Bullwinkle and ask questions of staff or the elected officials concerning items on the agenda. Number 4 on the agenda is consent agenda. And folks, as I always say, what we do, if it's a non-controversial item from the Committee of the Whole, it proceeds to the consent agenda and really has the second reading on the consent agenda. And that really frees up more time to talk about items that need to be talked about, like BYOB or the Harrison vacation, things of that nature. And so let's start with the consent agenda. So number 4A is bill listing dated January 11th, 2016 in the amount of $1,012,133.13. B on the consent agenda is minutes from the Village Committee of the Whole meeting for December 14th, 2015. C is minutes from the Village Formal Board meeting for December 14th, 2015. D is the first and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the number of Class I liquor licenses from 11 to 8. So the Village of Villa Park Code authorizes 11 Class I liquor licenses. 3 businesses have not renewed their Class I liquor licenses for 2016. These businesses include La Tosca Restaurant, Park West Restaurant, and Metzbahn Chicago. Staff recommends that the Village Board approve the attached ordinance that reduces the Class I liquor licenses by 3 from 11 to 8. E for the consent agenda for Monday night is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing change order number 1, which is the final change order, to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and Dendler, Inc. for the 2015 crack ceiling program for an adjusted final contract amount of $129,838.08. So the Village has a contract with Dendler, Inc. of Monica, Illinois for the 2015 crack ceiling program. Proposed final change order number 1 consists of additional quantity of crack ceiling which was completed in Ardmore Avenue. The net amount of the proposed final change order number 1 is an addition of $19,414.08 for an adjusted final contract amount of $129,838.08. F on the consent agenda for Monday night is the resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing change order number 1, which is also a final change order, to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and G&M Cement Construction, Inc. for the 2015 Contract Street Improvement Program for an adjusted final contract amount of $1,122,301.08. The Village has a contract with G&M Cement Construction, Inc. of Addison, Illinois for the 2015 Contract Street Improvement Program. Proposed final change order number 1 consists of the final balancing of contract quantities as measured in the field. The net amount of proposed final change order number 1 is a deduction of $96,057.07 for an adjusted final contract amount of $1,122,301.08. So folks, we have a deduction for that contract, and we'll take those savings and move those into 2016 and use those funds on additional concrete for additional streets. So moving forward with our rehabilitation of our streets and road construction and saving money on that particular item. So that's great. Moving on to G for the consent agenda for Monday night, January 11th. So G is the resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an intergovernmental agreement for the Washington Street Corridor Green Infrastructure Project between the Village of Villa Park and the County of DuPage. The Village, in cooperation with DuPage County, wishes to proceed with the design of green infrastructure improvements along Washington Street and on Grant Avenue. DuPage County will fund up to $40,000 for design engineering. Villa Park would be responsible for any cost in excess of the initial $40,000. An intergovernmental agreement with DuPage County is needed to receive the funding and has already been approved by DuPage County Board. So folks, that's a great use of funds. So that's a grant. We'll accept those $40,000 and we'll put that to use for the design engineering so we can move forward with that particular green infrastructure project. So number 5 on the formal board meeting for Monday night, January 11th, is public comments on non-agenda items. And that's the appropriate time for folks in the audience to be recognized by President Bullwinkle, come to the podium and comment on things that are not on the agenda. It could be many different things. Could be plowing, could be questions about recent changes in legislation. So moving on to number 6 is the village clerk's report, and that's the appropriate time for Village Clerk Kornecki to kind of give us a synopsis on what has been happening in her role as village clerk since the last time we met. Number 7 is the village trustees report, and that's the appropriate time for a member of the board of trustees to kind of give us a synopsis on what's been happening in their role since the last time we met. Number 8 is the village manager's report, and that's the appropriate time for myself to kind of give an update on what's been happening in my role as village manager since the last time we met. And it could be legislation, it could be snowfall, street plowing, use of salt. I try to make it interesting and kind of valuable information to you, the resident, and to the board. Number 9 for Monday night on the formal agenda is the village attorney's report, and that's the appropriate time for village attorney Ora Vinegar to kind of give us an update on what's been transpiring in the role of the village attorney. Now that could be legislation that's been happening in Springfield, or even questions concerning BYOB or things of that nature. So moving on to number 10 is the consider executive session. So number 10 is the executive session where the board goes in closed session to discuss, could be 5 ILCS 120-C1, which is personnel matters and collective bargaining. Could be 5 ICLS 120C5, purchase or lease of property. Could be number 5 ILCS 120-2C6, sale or lease of property. Could be 5 ILCS 120-C11, pending litigation. Could be 5 ILCS 120-2C21, discussion of closed session minutes. Could be 5 ILCS 120-2C28, meetings between internal or external auditors and governmental audit committees, finance committees, and their equivalents. And that is number 10 on the formal board meeting. And then we'll come out of the executive closed session. And number 11 for the formal board meeting Monday night on the agenda is adjournment. So there'll be no action taken after the executive closed session. And again, the number 11 is adjournment. So folks, that is the committee of the whole and formal board meeting for Monday, January 11th. So it's kind of got some construction projects and BYOB, which is bring your own bottle or beverage, if you like to say it that way. So that's kind of an interesting topic. So please tune in or come visit and kind of watch and take note of what's happening. I hope I saw you on the Prairie Path. I've been running it, been out in the community, and this week, don't forget to visit the VFW for wing night on Thursdays and still the fish fry on Fridays. Still many things happening within the community. We just finished the holidays. I hope you enjoyed the concerts on our cable channels. Al Stash does a wonderful job recording those and then putting them on there. So what a great holiday time we had. Very little snowfall, very little ice. And now we're about halfway through our winter season, at least halfway through the month of January. So hopefully we'll have less snowfall and rain and ice this year. So looking forward to a very happy and productive 2016. So again, my name is Rich Keener. I'm the village manager for the Village of Villa Park, and it's my honor. Hope to see you Monday night. Take care.